The Spanish-American War, a brief but consequential conflict fought between 1898 and 1899, marked a turning point in American history. Here are 14 facts that delve into the causes, battles, and lasting impacts of this war. But before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. And now let's get started. The war stemmed from a long-standing rebellion in Cuba against Spanish rule. Cubans fought for independence for decades, enduring brutal repression. The United States, with significant economic ties to Cuba, watched with growing concern, especially as atrocities against Cuban civilians became more widely reported in American media. The Yellow Press, characterized by sensationalized journalism, further inflamed public opinion against Spain. In February 1898, the American battleship USS Maine mysteriously exploded in Havana Harbor, killing over 260 sailors. Public outrage in the U.S. was swift, with accusations of Spanish sabotage fueling calls for war. Though the cause of the explosion remains debated, the event became a powerful rallying cry for American intervention. Following the USS Maine incident, President William McKinley sent an ultimatum to Spain demanding reforms in Cuba. Spain refused, and in April 1898, both nations declared war. Though motivated by humanitarian concerns, the U.S. also saw an opportunity to expand its influence in the Caribbean and the Pacific. Assistant Secretary of the Navy Theodore Roosevelt, a vocal proponent of war, resigned his post to form the volunteer cavalry unit, the Rough Riders. These cowboys, ranchers, and athletes became media darlings, and Roosevelt's leadership in the Battle of San Juan Hill cemented his rise as a national hero, paving the way for his future presidency. While the ground war in Cuba garnered more public attention, the first major victory for the U.S. came in the Pacific. Commodore George Dewey led the Asiatic Squadron in a surprise attack on the Spanish fleet at Manila Bay in the Philippines, destroying nearly the entire Spanish force in just a few hours. The Battle of San Juan Hill, fought in July 1898 near Santiago de Cuba, was a costly but ultimately successful American offensive. The Rough Riders, alongside African-American troops known as Buffalo Soldiers, played a significant role in the battle. Despite heavy casualties, the American victory demoralized Spanish forces and led to the surrender of Santiago. The Spanish attempted to break the American naval blockade around Santiago by sending a fleet from Spain. In the decisive Battle of Santiago de Cuba, the American fleet, under the command of Admiral William T. Sampson and Winfield Scott Schley, annihilated the Spanish force, effectively ending any hope of a Spanish victory. The Treaty of Paris, signed in December 1898, formally ended the Spanish-American War. Spain relinquished control of Cuba, Puerto Rico, and Guam to the U.S. and sold the Philippines for $20 million. This marked the beginning of the United States as a global player with territorial possessions overseas. Prior to the war, the U.S. issued the Teller Amendment, declaring that the Filipinos would be granted self-government after the war. However, the U.S. ultimately engaged in a brutal conflict against Filipino independence fighters, leading to the Philippine-American War, which lasted from 1899 to 1902. The Spanish-American War solidified the rise of American imperialism. With newfound territories, the U.S. projected its influence beyond the Americas and established itself as a major player in international affairs. This shift in American foreign policy had lasting implications for the 20th century. The war highlighted the importance of new technologies and naval power. The U.S. Navy, equipped with modern battleships and advanced weaponry, proved superior to the aging Spanish fleet. The war also saw the deployment of new inventions like the machine gun, showcasing the lethality of modern warfare. While casualties from combat were relatively low, around 5,000 American deaths, disease, particularly yellow fever and typhoid, claimed a far greater number of lives. Poor sanitation and inadequate medical care in tropical environments proved to be a significant challenge for both sides. By understanding these facts and their broader context, we gain a deeper appreciation for the Spanish-American War's lasting impact on the United States and the world. It serves as a reminder of the complex interplay between humanitarian concerns, national interests, and the devastating consequences of armed conflict.